Good morning, everybody. Good morning, good morning, good morning. I'm here to talk to you about this morning about Brian Kemp's pick of Kelly Loeffler. This song that's playing in the background, all about the Benjamins, Puff Daddy, and various artists. That's what this whole Kelly Loeffler pick is about. Let me explain. First of all, let's be honest here. Governor Kemp has done everything that conservatives have wanted him to do. Okay, he's done everything he ran on, everything he's done in his first his first year as governor. He's done 110%. Now all of a sudden, because of this pick, now conservatives don't trust him to make the right pick, or conservatives don't trust that he's vetted this woman completely to make sure that she's not a rhino. I saw recently Mark Levin. I mean, I respect Mark Levin, but Mark Levin, you don't know anything about Georgia politics. You don't know anything about Georgia politics. I don't know the last time you've even been in Georgia to come down here to talk to people. Yet you have a show everywhere. You have a show on Sundays. God bless you. Love you to death. But you don't know anything about Georgia politics, one. Number two, why do we care what you think about our political situation here in Georgia? That's the first thing. But more importantly than this, as I started off by saying, this whole pick is about money. Okay, it's not about money in a sense that there's any quid pro quo or there's any exchange of money or anything like that. It's about money because in 2020, when the jungle primary comes around, we're going to need a candidate who can fund themselves. Doug Collins is going to be drawing from the same pot of Republican donor money, big Republican donor money that the nominee from the 6th district is going to be drawing from to beat Lucy McBath, the same pot of money that the 7th district candidate is going to be running for, going after to win that, to keep that seat, Republican seat, the same pot of money that David Perdue is going to be going after, and much of the same money that President Trump is going to be going after. Now, President Trump has a boatload of money, so he's not in the same category, but we need somebody in there that's not going to be drawing from the same pot as everyone else. That's why Ms. Loeffler's pick is such a good pick. Also, we do have a problem with suburban women. You know, it's interesting to me, conservatives talk about outreach and expanding the tent, and it's all well and good. I'm on that team. I'm one of those people that want to expand the tent. I'm one of those people that help go around and help people learn how to expand that tent. But let's not get it twisted. Suburban white educated women who used to vote Republican are leaving, or maybe not leaving, but they weren't there in the last election. So, you know, let's get our house in order. Let's get back to people that were on our team and solidify those people. And that's what Ms. Loeffler does. Also, and this is very important also, because a lot of conservative activists, you guys have this in your head that Georgia will always be red. And that's not true, okay? Stacey Abrams lost that election by 55,000 votes. It's a very close election, okay? They're registering new voters. New voters are coming out all the time, particularly young people. We don't have a good track record with young people in terms of, you know, large numbers, in terms of the polling. And they're registering new voters, okay? The Democrats, while we're talking about big federal races, Trump, Perdue, Senate seats, House districts, the Democrats' plan, their plan is not necessarily just to take the governor's seat. Their plan is not to keep Lucy McBath in office. No, that's not their real plan. Their real plan is to change the state legislature back to the Democratic Party. That's their real plan. So the monies that are going to be raised this election cycle is going to be tight, because state house seats are going to need some money. State Senate seats are going to need some money. There's a bunch of them that can be tossed, can be flipped already, that have already been flipped, but can be flipped. More can be flipped. So we've got to pay attention to that too. So Ms. Loeffler represents a good pick for a lot of different reasons that all pertain to Republicans keeping power in the state of Georgia. This idea that she's a pro-abortionist, come on, we know that's not true. If she says she's not, she's not. The idea that they gave money to Planned Parenthood. She owns a WNBA basketball team whose majority target audience are women. And with the exception of those who are on the right to life side as women, the other side, most women are supportive of a woman's right to choose. So that's a marketing decision that she made. So no different than Chick-fil-A made a marketing decision to give money to people that they may not agree with fundamentally, but they made a marketing decision to continue doing business and give those to those charities. So I think that we are the hyperbole that's flying around with in the case of Ms. Loeffler. I think we need to tone it back a little. More importantly, I think we need to trust Brian Kemp. He hasn't turned his back on us. He hasn't done anything. He hasn't changed his mind. He hasn't done anything that did not get him elected in the first place. So let's trust him and trust him to know what he's doing, just like we've trusted him on everything else. Now, if this turns out to be a mistake, we'll find out. But let's say that he doesn't pick Loeffler. Let's say he picks Collins. Collins will get primaried in the jungle primary. There's someone else out there that wants to be a U.S. Senator and thinks that they can beat Doug Collins in a statewide race. If he doesn't pick Loeffler, there's going to be a jungle primary with other candidates in the race. I mean, let's not delude ourselves into thinking that we'll all be unified come November and no one's going to jump into the race. And if someone does, let's say he picks Loeffler and Doug Collins runs against her in a jungle primary in November. What does that say about Doug Collins? Whom I like, don't get me wrong. I love Doug Collins. I think Doug Collins is a star in the making. But in this case, I think that if he primaries her, he'd be the one that's a divisive figure or someone that's creating disunity in the party. So I think we all should take a step back. The point of this post is we should take a step back and we should allow Brian Kemp, who has not done anything to show us that he's not who he says he is throughout his first year as governor. We should allow him to make this pick. Let him do it. Trust that he's vetted her. I trust that he's vetted her. I don't think he's just going to make a pick and not vet the person. And let's go with that and see and let the chips fall where they may. But the important thing is, by picking her, we take care of our white suburban women voter problem. We also, well, we don't take care of it, but it helps to take care of it. But more importantly than that, we don't have yet another hand in the Republican donor pool running for an office in November, because there's going to be a lot of hands in that till, and that till is going to shrink smaller and smaller and smaller. As for listening to President Trump, Brian Kemp got helped by President Trump. There are many that make that argument. That doesn't mean he's got to make a pick based on what President Trump tells him to do. Again, it's state of Georgia. The president is the president of the United States. So let's not, let's understand that. And finally, I want to say this. If you want unity in the party, stop going after each other. Stop going after your governor who you elected, who's a dyed-in-the-wool conservative and has governed as one since day one. If you want unity in the party, stop being not unified and then blaming others for not being unified. Listen, let's get our act together. This is no time to be falling apart over a pick. And for those of you who like Paul Braun, nothing against the guy, but once you retire, you're done. You can't retire and then come back and say, I want to be a senator now for a 6-year term. I'm Shelley Winter. Let's go back. Peace.